I know that ain't who I think it is.
I ain't James.
What is this? Huh? This is rock.
Hell no.
Jack out that text when you 5 in the morning, you probably done paying your lease. Wanna get out of the country, you say you wanna go on a trip out of Greece. Wanna get out of the country, wanna get different, you wanna get runchy. Buy the ticket right now, you tell me you want me.
When this
There aren't many things that can stop the entire NBA world in its tracks at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. Did someone score 100 points? Did LeBron hastily retire in the middle of the season? What, did Michael Jordan come back out of retirement? What could possibly get everyone riled up out of nowhere? Oh my God. We all said in unison as news broke that the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I figured this was just some big elaborate hack job, and I was waiting for follow-up tweets.
Bro, no cap. I was about to tweet out today, just on some random why the did Dallas do this? Like, I hear they reasons. And they reasons beside, like, they reasons are, they valid. It makes sense. Like, man, I'm telling you to get your body together. You're not doing it. I'm telling you, we want you to improve your defense. You're not doing it. I'm telling you, I want you to train in our facilities. You saying that I'm going to go trade with my own team. But at the end of the day, yo, you don't trade somebody that's doing what Luka's doing at his age. That's nuts.
It's saying, false alarm, the Mavericks actually aren't brain dead. I can't believe you guys.
Not valid. No, bro, listen. Take Luka out of it, yo. If I told you there's X player, they saying the team told this motherfucker, hey, you getting too big. We need you to train. Come in and train with us. The player said no. If on top of that, his defense is one of the worst in the league. We want you to improve on that. There's no improvement. If I told you all of the scenarios, you took the name out of it, y'all be like, hell yeah, they should have traded that. He was tripping. He was tripping. But then, all of a sudden, when I put Luka there, even though those are valid reasons, you be like, yeah, but that's Luka. No, y'all some fucking liars. I'm not finna play these games, y'all.
Fell for it. But within minutes, it was clear that this trade was unfortunately very real, and the Mavericks are in fact out of their minds. The same player who Mark Cuban said he would rather leave his wife before giving up, the same player who was responsible for a third of the organization's finals appearances, the same player who by the grace of God miraculously fell into their lap 7 years ago, is now gone. And after looking at the reported details of this exchange, how it went down and who was involved, this is without a
No, you just didn't mention that he's a top five that he's a 5-time All-Star and already carried his team to the finals. Listen, I don't know if I'm in the twilight zone. You know what? Maybe I got to put it on me. Maybe it might be me. Maybe I'm doing a pretty piss poor job of explaining it. Maybe I am. And I'm sorry. I'm saying take who he is out of it. And I said this is a nameless, faceless player. And for all of the reasons that Dallas said, you start to put those on that player. He don't train well. He's getting fat as fuck. He don't play defense. It's fucking horrible. Teams on a night-to-night basis look at this like he's food. Okay? And they tell him, yo, we want you to start training with us. And you take all of this out of it. And I'd be like, yo, do you think that this player should be potentially traded? Most people would say yes. But then this when you add who the f he is, and you be like, all right, hell no. Luka's this, Luka's that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exaggeration. The most shocking trade in NBA history. Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and DraftKings is...
First, I'll get that up. I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. Yo, TraySold's puny. Thank you for the fire. Get the subs. Man.
Pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang!
Change your name. Say his name, Trey. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Same game parlays for a shot at an...
Stop being rude. Nah, man. He been rude to me, bro. Because I didn't even do none of that, bro.
Now that we've had about a day to digest the Luka AD trade, by now the reality of the situation should be setting in. It has not. A trade so insane that fans
really
are now theorizing if the league did it for the sake of ratings.
Crazy.
Imagine concocting a deal so heinous that your fans literally think you're doing it for clout. That is how crazy this trade is. And there's about a dozen reasons why this is legitimately the most shocking deal we have ever seen. First, according to—
They're treating the weight thing like he's Zion and couldn't stop eating? I mean, yeah, I understand that. Like, but every team got different, they're like what they will accept and what they won't accept. New Orleans ain't never win nothing, ain't never do nothing. They begging for Zion to get right. The Dallas Mavericks, they've won a championship before. It's like, yo, I know what a championship player look like, and you're not acting like one. So, again, I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have did it 1,000%, but at the same time, that's what they did.
Multiple sources, none of the players even knew this trade was happening. Not Luka, not Anthony Davis, not even the Lakers GM LeBron James. As some sources put it, this deal materialized in the shadows. In the shadows?
Crazy.
What is this? The
A deal being in the shadows in big old 2025, I didn't even think that was possible still. Like,
materialized in the shadows. In the shadows? What is this? The Illuminati? What do you mean in the shadows? And turns out this was the cleanest way this deal could have gone down. Because the next component that makes this truly the craziest trade to ever happen, Luka never requested a trade. He's been in Dallas his entire career, and outside of a few rumors, nothing suggested he wouldn't be a lifer in that organization. There wasn't any buildup, there wasn't any reports of a disgruntled Luka making demands. It just happened. Out of the blue, which is reason number 3. The Mavs just traded away a top 3 asset in the NBA without even shopping him. No bidding wars, no asking around and assessing other offers. They just made the call to the Lakers and accepted the deal. Can you imagine the haul Dallas would have got if they actually shopped Luka around the league for a couple of months? Oh, you want to give us Luka? Here is our entire franchise, the players, the coaches, the building, the staff, my firstborn child. Take it all. Thanks for doing business. I'll figure out the details later. If Rudy Gobert is worth 2 starters, 5 first-rounders, and a pick swap, if Mikal Bridges is worth 5 rounders, a 2nd rounder, and a swap, if an aging Paul George is worth a rising SG—
Bro. And the Lakers just gave up AD in 1 first.
5 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. Can you imagine what a prime Luka Doncic would have fetched to the right team? Oh wait, I know. A 31-year-old Anthony Davis and a thank you note. It makes no sense. And that brings up reason—
At the same time though, just to give y'all opposite side of the argument, none of these trades, none of them got the caliber of player that Anthony Davis is at that time. Yes, I know this Paul George, they got SGA, but you got to go back to at the time who SGA was. And I did like his game because he was being kind of like mentored by Chris Paul at that time on the Clippers. If I'm not, I know I'm not making this, but I know I've seen this. And SGA, he was showing promise, but he was a young player that nobody knew who the f he was going to be. Did show promise though, but Anthony Davis is a f***ing, I'm sorry, the Thunder. I'm sorry, I f***ed it up. Whatever, my bad. But CP3 was on the Rockets. I thought maybe all right. Yeah, I guess I am making it up. But at the same time though, I do know that SGA was a player. They said he was being mentored. He showed a lot of f***ing promise. But he wasn't who the fuck he is today. He's just not who he is. All right, I thought I seen CP3. Who was their point guard? Because SGA wasn't starting. They had SGA and man. Who the fuck was their point guard?
Like, number 4. The Mavericks were just in the finals last year. We've seen players sign with other teams after a finals run. We've seen players demand trades after a great season. But we have never seen a team willingly cough up a megastar after being just 3 games away from winning a championship. It's unthinkable. Because reason number 5, it's Luka freaking Doncic.
Yeah.
You do not trade Luka Doncic. If you were to
Yo,
rank
Locky,
players
thank you for
in
the
the
sub,
NBA
gang. I
on their trade
appreciate you.
value, starting with the players who are the most untouchable, non-negotiable, hang up the phone, and down from there, Luka is probably 3rd or 4th on that list.
Absolutely.
The only 2 players definitively ahead of him are Wemby and Jokic. Now just try to wrap your head.
Why the hell is Luka over Tatum and Tatum just won the chip? I f Luka though. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I would take Tatum over Luka, but Tatum just got there and beat this motherfucker. Age? I don't give a fuck about age when this just proved that he could do it. He's younger. I mean, y'all nigga. Well, you look, we're not gonna argue over no bullshit like this because it already happened. But I would not put no Luka over no more untradeable than Tatum when Tatum just got to the chip and won it.
Head around the deal a team would have to offer in exchange for Nikola Jokic, or what the Bucks would get in return for Giannis. Here's a hint, there isn't one, because they would never trade them away. The deal doesn't exist. Tim McMahon of ESPN reported that Dallas had 2 major concerns in regards of Luka's future with the franchise. The first one being his massive 300.
Luka scored 70 with what ring? Y'all love to talk about rings. Y'all act like rings is the only thing that matter. Now we gonna act like they ain't? He scored 70 and did what?
Concerns in regards of Luka's future with the franchise. The first one being his massive $345 million 5-year extension, which he would have been eligible for this summer,
Rings
and the
don't matter.
second concern being his health and conditioning. In other words, the man was out of shape. So let me get this straight. The Dallas Mavericks just traded away the best player of a generation, the future of their franchise, and the man that just got them to the finals on one leg because he put on a few pounds. For fuck's sake, Zion Williamson ate his
That's
way
what
into
I'm
load
saying.
management, and he has
No
spent the
bull-
last seasons in and out of rehab, and the Pelicans are still
What?
sticking by him. Now,
Like I said, even though I get their reason, but no, you don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it, bro. And I would think that Zion would be the get traded before Luka for those reasons. Like, yo, Dallas, y'all gotta win a chip. Ain't the problem, bro. Dallas, y'all low as on the standings. So for y'all to even try to get into a decent position this year, y'all gotta ball the fuck out. Like, this is crazy.
Now, Zion didn't deserve that stray. Seems like a nice guy. I wish him the best. But you get the point. We are now over a decade into the process, and the Sixers have yet to move on from Embiid. It's one thing for a franchise player to want out, to sign with another team if they aren't happy and the opportunity presents itself. But for a franchise to pull the trigger and get rid of a megastar in his prime because of constant conditioning issues is criminal. There's really no precedent or great comparison for a trade like this. Because in the past, even when teams did trade a superstar, there was context behind those trades that at least made it seem justifiable. Either the star was exiting their prime and the team was trying to salvage some value before they inevitably left, or despite how good the star was, the team wasn't finding much postseason success and wanted to go in a different direction. Or the star was bound to leave anyways, made it known, and the team had no leverage, so they were essentially forced into the trade. This deal between the Mavs and the Lakers has none of those elements involved. Luka didn't request a trade, he's 25 years old in his prime, and the Mavericks championship window just opened up. Now, as a Blazers fan, I am painfully aware of how hard it is to get your hands on a true franchise player. Painfully aware. In our team's entire 55-year existence, we've had 3. The first one got hurt, the second one was incredible, the potential third one got hurt, and the actual third one was also incredible. That's about one superstar every 20 years. What does the lackluster history of my team have to do with this trade? Well, because the Mavericks should know a thing or two about keeping their hands on a generational talent. Because in their franchise's history, they've only had 2 of them, Dirk Nowitzki and Luka Doncic. The first one spent his entire 21-year career in Dallas, facing ups and downs and winning arguably the heaviest and most challenging championship of our lifetime. And the second one, they traded away for AD in a box of scraps after...
Man, like, he said as a Blazer fan, I would just take a step back and like just talk from my experience to let you know, like, it's not easy to get a superstar fucking player, and when you get one, you keep it. Now, I'm a Laker fan first. Lakers fan, I've been spoiled. Oh, look, we don't want to talk about them. Bro, the Rockets. Gang. Bro, I remember growing up, Steve Francis balling, whatever. After that, bro, the Rockets didn't even have no fucking bona fide. Yao Ming, though. Yao Ming came to the city. We was so excited. Like, but, or at least I remember excited when I was a kid. Every time playoff came around, I was hurt. T-Mac was older, still getting buckets. But they never went to the playoffs. They never do nothing. Like, I'm not putting them on that same caliber. These kept getting hurt. So, and then especially take that shit out of here. Take T-Mac them out. But besides, after the Yao Ming T-Mac Rockets, you had this fucking gap of what the fuck is going on in the city? Laker trade. Dalton. What the fuck? And Cam Reddish.
Just 6.5 seasons of a promising career. And as every
6.5 rebounds, we're going to need to get them rebounds up.
Fan of a non-major market team knows all too well, generational talents only come along once in a generation. The Mavericks aren't some...
Oh, yeah, like I was saying, from T-Mac Rockets to the James Harden trade, like watching the games, watching the team, just hearing the city, you talk about the Rockets, you be like, man, they ain't doing shit. They ain't on nothing. Not so bad. We traded for Jeremy, one of the superstars so bad. We traded for Jeremy Lin, yo. And the city was getting excited for Jeremy Lin, like he was gonna really like take us up. Like, oh man, bro, that superstar. When you get one, you do not trade them for real unless they are a headache. So when the Rockets made a trade to get James Harden, I'm like, if I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. The James Harden trade, I was not a fan of it at first, only because I watched college basketball heavy that year. I thought Jeremy Lamb was going to be somebody. I'm going to let you know right now. I was watching out of Summer League. Any of my that's Rocket fans will let you know. Jeremy was cooking Summer League. I thought that was going to be somebody. I said, oh, shit. Then all of a sudden when we traded, I was like, thank God we got Harden, but why we couldn't keep him? That wouldn't do shit. He was cold on 2K. That was it. But all of a sudden we know we go on Harden cooks. Like, I know what it's like to have a superstar on your team. You don't do what the Mavericks did. This is nuts. This is nuts.
Hotspot for superstar talent. They don't get real chances to win it all often. Just 3 trips to the finals in 45 years. One of those trips at the hands of the guy who they just sent packing. They cannot afford to roll the dice and hope for greener pastures like some other teams can. You are not the Lakers. You get a player like Luka and you lock that man in and throw away the key. What are we doing? Yeah. It could be another 20 years before a player of Luka's caliber puts on a Mavericks jersey. And the team traded him away because he was mildly out of shape. It makes me sick. This is coming from a desperate man who's got 18 years left before I see another Dame. Which brings us to their second concern. Again, according to sources, the Mavericks were not keen on giving Luka an extension that would have made him the highest paid player in the league. But if the third best player in the world who gets better in the playoffs is a perennial MVP candidate who's hitting his prime isn't worth paying,
nobody
then who
is.
the hell is?
Nobody
Dallas said
is.
that this was a win-now trade. An oxymoron of a statement considering who they just traded and where he just got them last season. But superstars win championships. Superstars also cost a lot of money. And if you're not willing to empty your pockets, how committed are you to actually winning? In what world has being cheap ever won a team a title? It just seems completely counterintuitive to what they're trying to accomplish. Now, the implications of this trade for the Lakers are just as drastic, but for entirely different reasons. For starters, this will be the first time in LeBron's entire career, youth, high school, NBA, a lifetime of basketball, where he won't be the best player on his team.
Cap.
Which is already a huge
LeBron James is 40 game. This is so cold. He had to be 40 years old for it to finally be better than him on his team, yo. Like, real the nigga cold, bro. You riding, bro. You talking to a nigga that has hated LeBron longer than I've been a fan of him, bro. There's just some real shit. You can't be right if you speaking facts, bro. Like, AD was better than him. Nah, chill out, relax. I f*** AD though.
Huge adjustment for him and the team as a whole, but specifically because Luka and LeBron essentially do the same exact thing. Oversized on-ball floor generals with...
Didn't LeBron f*** up your dinner? Let me tell you what. So you don't tell me nothing about no LeBron?
In fact, they not only have the same skill set, they take on the exact same roles on the court. LeBron has always initiated the offense, even if it meant relegating point guards to other positions. And this usually worked in the past because no one did what LeBron could do nearly as good as he could do it. But now there's a guy who can do what LeBron can do, only better. So that means unless Luka and the Lakers are okay with him getting neutralized, LeBron will have to truly play off ball and within the flow of the offense for the first time in about 2 decades. 2 LeBrons on
LeBron
one team.
Sounds great in theory.
Probably a bit redundant, which leads me to believe the Lakers
Like LeBron, he gonna do it sometime. He's sharing the ball.
are actually playing a longer game with this trade. Sources report that the Mavericks are the ones that approached LA with this trade. And despite the Lakers playing fairly well as of late, I think they knew their chances of winning another title with the LeBron-AD duo was getting slim. So with the option of trading away key pieces and tripling down on a 40-year-old LeBron to carry them to the promised land, or trade for a mega
Unless it was another
star that just showed up on their doorstep 5 minutes ago, they couldn't book AD's flight to Dallas quick enough, which makes me think this move was the first step into the post-LeBron era in Los Angeles. As we all know, LeBron will more than likely retire within a season or 2, and the Lakers needed a new face for their franchise.
I bet that flash.
And they just got it. Inexplicably, miraculously, in the most Lakers way imaginable.
Bro.
I always wondered what LeBron's final years would look like, how he would go out, who would be around him, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine it would be playing second fiddle to Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey. All in all, it seems like the Mavericks won this trade, if you zoom way in and look at this in an 18-month window. But zoom out and the Lakers are looking around asking themselves,
That's what I'm saying, like, from this trade, and I'm glad that he said that, because I think that the Mavs, they reap the immediate benefits from this trade. And I think right now they're going to be obviously they're going to be in a better position. Their team look better right now to me. But once you go to past the 3-year, 4-year, 6, 7-year, no matter, I think the Lakers win this trade. This is dumb as hell. Unless, the only way this is not dumb, if the Mavericks go on to win a championship or 2, y'all cooked. Y'all cooked. All right? Y'all balled out. But if you don't do that, this is dumb.
how they just pulled off a bank heist. With AD, the Mavericks lineup looks good, possibly a winning formula.
It does.
But the Lakers got Luka Doncic. And in 20 years, fans will look back and wonder how one of the greatest players of all time in his prime was traded away on a random Saturday night.